to the next episode of Chairside Gaming. I'm one of your hosts, Chris.
And I'm the other host, Ricky.
All right, guys, if you're brand new to Chairside Gaming, technically we are too. This is our second episode. Welcome back to episode 2. Again, if you were joining us from our previous show, Gaming Dad 101, going, what the hell happened? Well, 2020, we're starting anew. We're doing a couple things different. With that said, I'm going to use that into leeway. If you're watching the show on YouTube, which, by the way, part of the housekeeping, we didn't say this on the last episode because we weren't sure we were going to be able to meet it. But we're pretty confident that we're going to be able to do it going forward. So, going forward, YouTube and podcasting services will go live same day, all right?
Same day, baby.
So it'll go live same day. We're still going back and forth. Part of me wants to start posting the video on Facebook as like a full video because Facebook is not doing like stuff like that. So like I'm like conflicted. I'm kind of like, I know we're like splitting our videos, but the overall views is what counts. So I'm thinking we may want to start some of this. But anyway, all of this whole thing and change aside, again, if you're brand new to the show and you're wondering what happened to Gaming Dad 101, 2020 is the year of change. If you're watching the YouTube video, you'll see the quality of the video is different. It's much better. It's much better. We're running some tests, all right? So if you see any weird cuts or something, that's part of the test, and that's something that we're trying to figure out how to resolve. But yeah, so 2020, we are no longer doing Gaming Dad 101. We nuked that. We figured, obviously trying to grow our reach and trying to make sure that people don't think of us as just that show for dads. No, it's a show for everybody. We want everybody to feel welcome. We want to be able to have guests from other shows that aren't necessarily parent-centric, that are more related to games. We want to be able to have more guests and things of that nature. So here we are, Chairside Gaming, our solution for 2020. So how's it going, Ricky? We're back.
We're definitely back.
It's been weird to have the time in between. Yeah, it is. But
I feel rested.
It's a different, right? It feels different, like recording today. Like, and we spent the day running some tests and getting some things ready and working on a few things that we're working on, and we got a lot done today. But even then, like, it's like, look at everything we've gotten accomplished today, and then now we're here recording the episode, which again, the recording the way that we're doing now, it's allowing us much more time, which is wonderful. So we can actually make the show, we can focus on the show looking better, hopefully sounding better, and all of that.
Yeah, everything else on overall, better quality for you guys. I mean, I'm super excited.
You don't even understand.
I've been jumping around in the background, while we were setting up and everything, just from the excitement of, just remembering, from where we started or where even the show started before I even got here. It started as just a podcast service, where it was just audio. Then slowly we started deciding to introduce, the video aspect of it, just to make it more personable and everything. Just, because realistically, there's people out there that, are not into physical podcasts itself.
They're not.
And into videos. So, that is just another avenue, to be able to provide, our content out to everybody. And then ever since, we did that, it's just figuring out a way of how can we upgrade our quality.
How do we make everything look better?
Our audio quality just get better. Because I will say that's the one thing, even with me, my audio quality, when I first started, I was very echoey and all that stuff. To slowly where we've been able to build all of this. And, every single time we get a next milestone of accomplishment of something that we can just make the quality a little bit better.
It feels good.
It just makes me, oh my God, yes. I'm just so full of joy at this moment.
So again,
I'm excited.
Gaming Dad 101 went bye-bye. New show, Chairside Gaming. This is episode 2. We are still going live on Wednesdays. We'll let you guys know if that changes because of the way that we're recording. Technically, we could release a little bit earlier. So we're looking into that. But at the very least, good news as of this week, confirmed.
Yep.
YouTube and podcast live, day and date. So no matter where you want to listen to us or how you want to check us out, you can. And again, you can also do that by checking out our website at geekendcast.com. And again, I mean, I can't help but say this enough. If you're listening over on a podcast service, go subscribe, go like us, go give us the 5 stars and all of that, because that is that's the biggest way that the algorithm is going to be like, hey, you guys need to check this show out.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to help us. And if you're, of course, on YouTube, go subscribe. Where's the button? The subscribe button's right above my head in the YouTube video. I had to like look off to the monitor on the side to figure out where it is. It was like right here, right above my head. Just click on that. There's like a little bell that's like somewhere down there that'll tell you when we post a new video, just so you get it.
Yep.
And that's how you help us. Like, you know, this is the year that we want more audience interaction. We want to be able to participate more. We are planning a few things where we're going to have nights where we invite people to come, like, hang out and discuss and, like, have a way to, like, that's one of the goals I have. I want to be able to do an episode where we have, like, a chat and we can interact with people. That's a goal for 2020.
We'll get there.
We'll get there. That's
challenge accepted.
Yeah, definitely. Hell yeah. All right, man. So we have an interesting show prepared for you guys for today.
Yep.
We wanted to get a little bit more into what's coming with the new consoles and what really the next stream of gaming really is like. And realistically, this is all stemming from an article that I found, and I posted it on the Facebook group, where Phil Spencer states that Xbox does not have real competition with Nintendo and PlayStation, and that the real competition, get this, is Amazon and Google. So, like, how do you feel about that? Because that's a pretty bold statement.
Well, I think really more of that bold statement is, just like we've mentioned before, you know, what else can consoles do, you know, realistically, besides bring up image quality a little bit and everything. I think the gaming generation is trying to strive to go over into the cloud gaming basis. And, you know, Google has already started with their Stadia services, you know, Amazon.
Have they really, though? They started.
But, okay, the concepts is there.
Yeah,
that's what we're talking about. You know, the next generation is the cloud service, the Netflix demand style for gaming. You know, I don't think Amazon has one, but, you know, them being a big company.
But Amazon has mentioned that they do want to get into the gaming space.
Yes.
So, like, I think that if they're going to go into that route, that's probably the route they're going to go into.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to go the cloud-based computing.
And they have the capabilities, and they have the capital to back them up to do it. I mean, they're doing movies. They're doing TV shows. Well, not movies, TV shows. You know, they're starting to do audio concept, you know, where they're bringing music into gaming, I believe through Twitch, if I'm not mistaken.
Interesting.
Yeah, so they're doing a lot of things, and they're becoming very innovative. So yes, I can kind of see why Phil Spencer kind of, you know, just throws it out there.
I mean, what it boils down, here's the quote: when you talk about Nintendo and Sony, we have a ton of respect for them, but we see Amazon and Google as the main competitors going forward. And then a separate quote: I don't want to be in a fight over format wars with those guys, while Amazon and Google are focusing on how to get gaming to 7 billion people around the world. Ultimately, that's the goal. So he seems way more focused on getting gaming everywhere as opposed to just being a console.
Exactly.
Which, like,
which ties into my point.
It does. And it does tie into your point in that, but we go back and forth in this whole, like, whether, like, cloud streaming is the solution for all this. Because, like, we are getting to a point where the consoles themselves aren't really mattering so much. I mean, we're starting to see crossplay, and we're starting to see a lot more of that. So it wouldn't surprise me that things will change, and we'll get into that a little bit more. But, like, before we go further into what we think, simply because I know that once we go further, it's going to start segueing into different things. Let's go over and read the comments over on the Facebook group. We have the first comment we have from William Hunt. In regards to innovation potential, it's a possibility that Amazon and Google both have the money to explore different avenues of gaming. Everybody wants to be the new Netflix, and right now Xbox, PlayStation are both blockbuster, which, like, that comment in and of itself is a great comment, like, straight up. All right. Blockbuster, and I think Phil Spencer wants to try new things to expand Microsoft's brand further to the east. We will have to see what happens with developers once the new consoles are released. So, of course, a lot of hanging up on what's going to happen with the next Xbox. But again, I just don't see it, like, I don't see streaming being the one take-all this season. Like, I think that at this point, you know how we talked a lot about Microsoft trying to gain weight and plant seeds for the next console generation.
Yep.
It's almost as if they're like, we're good for this generation. Whatever will be, will be. Fuck it. We're focusing on even the next generation further down. That's what his focus is on. That's kind of what it feels like to me a little bit.
I mean, console-wise, currently, even with the One X, it's a really decent console. You know, it's very strong, very powerful. It does things correctly. At least in my point of view, the way that I use it,
Man,
it does things correctly.
It still has me wondering whether I want to buy one.
See what I mean? They have the concept behind it, and of course, it doesn't mean that they're gonna lose focus from the actual console, because they're still gonna have a dedicated team that's still gonna be working, you know, and putting time into it. We're just basically talking, or at least from my point of view of it, it's more of let's invest time and resource on how we can make the next services, for example, the streaming models, you know, better out there. Yes, there is test betas going on, but they got to start somewhere.
True. So on that note, let's hear also from a Microsoft employee who happens to be part of our Facebook group as well, Jay Baxter. He did put the disclaimer that he is a Microsoft employee and that he is speaking for himself and not for the company. So with that caveat, there are a limited number of people who are going to buy $500 dedicated gaming hardware every few years, or who have the electrical and internet infrastructure to use it. That artificially limits the market, but gamers are everywhere. So yeah, we go back to we keep seeing a lot of comparisons to the gaming sphere and cell phones.
Mm-hmm.
So like every year we're buying these, and like $700, $800, $900,000 if you're on if you're an iPhone user.
Hey, watch it.
I'm not the one who prices the Apple stuff, all right? Like, if you have a problem with it, go talk to Mr. Steven Jobs. Yes, in heaven. That's what I'm saying.
I'm like, okay.
He's the only one that can help. And at this point, anyway, aside from that, there is a lot to say about spending that much money.
Yes.
And there is a lot. That's why Stadia was such a big draw for a lot of people. That's why it was a big draw for me. Initially.
Until you dropped off.
Until I dropped off. Dude, alright. We'll talk about that again a little bit more, but like, anyway. But I can totally see that. Like, it would be awesome to get to a spot where I no longer have to worry about a console. I just have to worry about a service. And I'm kind of like living for that. Like, I want the next Xbox, but I don't want the Series X. I want the one, like the rumored Scarlet, that's supposed to be, you know, the next generation, but not the X, the one it's like a little less powerful. Maybe it doesn't do physical media or whatever, because my dream, honestly, with Xbox is next generation. I will have at least one console so that I can enjoy all the games on there, but all I'm going to have is Games Pass. Yeah. That is it.
I mean,
I don't care about anything else.
Yeah, no, I've caught myself. I mean, I forgot the last time that I actually bought a physical game. You know, I've been playing a lot more on the Xbox because of Games Pass. You know, we are now getting, you know, the new Final Fantasy 15 that came out. You know, we have We Happy Few. We have all of these great games that have come out, and Games Pass has done a really good job at bringing those games accessible to people that originally may not have the funds.
And not just that, it's one of those scenarios where you're getting these for a small fee a month, and they're just showing up there. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, we had
their first party's there. Their first party's on there.
Yes.
Like that's a big
first
thing.
Parties, third parties.
That's still something that PlayStation doesn't have. We have PS Now, sure, but it's not like they're starting to put like newer, cooler games. Like, you know, they had God of War. I think God of War is there till the end of this month, I believe. I can't remember what the deadline is.
Maybe I can't.
And then it's gonna go away, and they're gonna put in a new one or whatever, and they'll have like the marquee titles. Mm-hmm. But it's not the same as Game Pass. Like, no. Game Pass, they're out day and date, boom, done.
Yeah. I know. I was going over the Games Pass list with you earlier today, and Chris it was so funny. Chris is like, "Oh, what? They have that game there? What? They have this other game there?" Just seeing the joy in your face of the potential of Game Pass and how
because the way that I'm looking at it is like I've been depriving myself of Xbox titles that I realistically could just get the Game Pass and just enjoy, and that's it. And I don't have to worry about anything else. And that's the part that I'm like, I need to look a little bit more into that. And that's, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's what I need to look into. And then Garrett, who seems to kind of agree with me, Garrett Schneider over on the Facebook group, I think this round is still Sony versus Microsoft. Next round, we will see a difference when the infrastructure is in place. That will make the playing field even, in my opinion. And that's where we go back to it. Like, Microsoft is no longer focused. They don't even care about this console generation. They're like, yeah, the Series X, yeah, cool, all right, cool, next. And they're focusing at like 7-10 years down the line. That's where their focus is at this point. And realistically, like, they've come out with their XCloud, which happy to announce, and I know that I'm jumping a little bit from my dog, but happy to announce we actually got into the Xbox Cloud streaming preview.
Yep, we went ahead and we registered and
we got accepted.
Yep,
we got to play it. We have some shit to say.
I'm excited. I'm actually waiting. Sorry. Oh my god. Sorry for my voice. I've been sick for the last couple of days, so yes, you might hear me.
And all of
coughing.
Like everybody has been sick, man.
The weather, man, it's been crazy.
There's something going around. Seriously, everybody, wash your hands. All that jazz. There's the flu. There's all the coronavirus stuff going around. Like, yeah, take care of yourselves because this is just, it's getting ridiculous out there, all right?
Yeah. No, but no, we went ahead and submitted for it. We just got approved. We tested it out, so I'm excited.
So far, it's freaking awesome.
It really is. Out of all of the different styles of streaming aspect that I've tried, and I'm pretty sure that you've tried several other ones.
I've tried some too, and we go back to
yes.
PlayStation doesn't have this.
No, the closest thing that they have is just a remote play.
They have remote play, which is again close, but yeah, it's nowhere near this. So let's go ahead and talk a little bit about what we've tried, because we tried a few different types of games. We wanted to make sure that we had like a kind of a taste of everything that was offered.
To make it a somewhat of a fair or as close, apples to apples comparison.
We even grabbed the game that we both tried, and I think we tried a little bit more in depth, was Forza Motorsports 4.
Yep.
All right? That one's the one that we both have had a lot of experience with on console. I've had a lot of experience on PC because I was playing it on PC. He's tried it on console. Now we both tried it. Now, full disclosure, we tried the streaming program on my cell phone, which is a Galaxy S10e.
Yeah, it's not available for iOS users. There's other
No.
users.
It is available for iOS users. But there's, what's the caveat? I know that I put it up there. I put it up there. Where is it?
Game.
There you go. Only a single game works with an iOS device. Halo: The Master Chief Collection, and that's because of a lot of crap on the Apple side. From my understanding.
I don't know. I tried to download it on my tablet and on my phone. I couldn't find the application. So, in my eyes, I truly don't count this as a true remote streaming for Xbox services. I'm not even going to count that for my
Hopefully
side.
It comes down later.
I mean, I'm excited. I'm excited to be able to play, my Xbox games on my tablet, on my phone, on the go. Because I always have my phone, at least my phone with me at all times. So I will be excited. So please, Microsoft, just deal whatever Apple,
whatever the hell you need to figure out, solve it, fix it, get it over on there. He's begging people. So our experience, real talk, trying this system basically made me realize that I can't wait till we get to that point where I don't need to buy a console anymore.
No.
Where all I need to do is have one system, one PC, or one thing, and just be able to play on there. And that's what this preview did for me. In all honesty, guys, I wish I had something that would have held my phone. That way I could play with my phone, at the same time. my phone right over the controller. I'm sure that there will be adapters.
Well, I don't know. Well, I was the one that got the email, so I don't know if you fully got to read it when I sent it to you. But Apple actually does. I mean, not Apple. Jesus Christ. On the email from Microsoft, they actually do provide a link to one of the adapters that you can actually do for the controller in your phone to be able to hold your phone up, and that was actually part of their email. So they even went ahead and tried to incorporate, things like that.
Yeah, I didn't see that. I wish I would have done, but I tried. I tried Absolver a little bit. I tried the Senders. I tried a little bit of Ace Combat. It was a little complicated because of the size of the screen.
Yep.
I tried Hello Neighbor. We did try Forza. You tried Bloodstained Ritual of the Night.
Oh yes.
How did? Because again, we go back. So like, the biggest thing that surprised us with this preview is that the latency was like not
almost
there.
Non-existent.
It was almost like you could feel it the most in Forza.
Yep.
I think
being a heavier game.
But I also think that it's one of those scenarios where, dependent on the car, you may or may not even notice that delay.
And honestly, by playing with it, one thing that I noticed was that you can actually get used to that input delay depending on the vehicle. You can actually compensate.
It's not a game breaker.
No, it's not by far. And you can truly compensate for it, and that's what I loved with it. And one of the reasons why we kind of wanted to use, Forza as, the main backbone of our review was because it is a very heavy game.
It's a response.
Graphically wise,
Graphic wise, response heavy. Like,
oh, yes.
You need to be able to turn or drift and do those corners. And, like, honestly, we were able to turn and drift and do those corners. It took a little getting used to at first, yeah. But I think size of screen has a lot to do with that. Yeah. But I was very, very pleasantly surprised.
You're able to play a big AAA title on your phone.
It felt like I was connected to the Xbox.
Yeah.
And that's the part that I like. So, like, PlayStation right now, you have the remote play where you can stream to your PC, you can stream to your tablet, you can stream to your phone. But you can only stream as long as your PlayStation is on.
Yep.
The beautiful thing about this preview is that you can stream whatever. Now you can't be on the console.
No, that's one thing that we also did test.
So you can't be on the console and be on the app at the same time. It won't do that. It'll kick you out of one or the other. But that's to be expected. I mean, I kind of expected that, so that's not too bad. But it's just like it feels good. Like I kind of, as a PlayStation man who always wants to root for PlayStation, I wish there was a negative thing I could say about this. But quite honestly, at this point, I'm kind of like, solid. Dude. Again, I go back to all I need is an Xbox, and maybe even not that. Like I may not even need that. Like offer me XCloud and just XCloud for like a monthly fee. Like the similar to Stadia, and I'll do that.
Yeah.
Like straight up, honestly.
I enjoyed it. I really, really enjoyed it. And I think that's the part that's getting to me. Knowing
what do you mean getting to you?
Well, it's just knowing, and I don't mean it by like a bad thing. I mean it in a good thing. It's just, okay, I'm playing a big AAA title on my smartphone.
On the toilet. Let's face it. That's exactly what you're trying to think. I'm playing a big AAA title on the toilet.
Yes, there is gaming phones out there. But just being able to bring this to a generic phone, not having to spend money like on one of those racer phones, not having to spend money, on a on a separate
controller to begin with.
Yes.
Like that's a good thing to start off. Mm-hmm. The fact that all I had to do was connect my Xbox controller, your Xbox controller, through Bluetooth, and that's it. Like that's all you need.
That's it. You're able to play any AAA title, pretty much any game within the Xbox library.
I will say that at this point, this is the part where I wish I hadn't canceled Stadia. Simply so that we would have a comparison between Stadia and this in terms of response time. But I'll tell you right now, in terms of library, Xbox is already
Oh
beating
yeah.
it out of the water
Oh yes.
because you have access to basically everything on Games Pass.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm logging into the system and like I'm not without a shortage of games.
Oh, yeah,
And I don't know
nah.
if you probably can't see like the details, but like it's like an ever going list of games, and I probably sound like terrible because I just did that to my mic. But whatever, it's just like an ongoing list that we have access to. I mean, Soul Calibur, Sparklight, State of Decay 2, Subnautica, Super Hot, Tales of Empire. And again, I don't know if these are just Game Pass games. I don't know if these are games that
No,
you've received through
no.
like Xbox One Gold or whatever.
No,
But
a lot of those games are Games Pass, and even some of those titles are not even Games Pass. I don't think Ace. Well, it's somebody. I mean, I can confirm after the video or anything, but I don't recall Ace Pilot or the new Ace Game 7
no,
being part of Xbox Games
it
Pass.
is. It is.
It is.
Yes,
Okay.
I
then
know
yes.
that because I was very mad because I want that game and it's not part of PlayStation
Then yes,
anything yet.
so a lot of that list isn't, it's part of, the 100+ games that they have on Games Pass, and they're adding to it every single day.
So yeah, dude, I'm actually like, all right. First of all, this isn't sponsored because we're like
No.
we're like kissing his ass at this point. However, Xbox, if you want to sponsor us, we'll be more than happy. At this point, yeah, man, I'm very pleasantly surprised with the service. I'm like again, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking for them to roll this program out, and I'm looking for them to at some point just be like, hey, do you want Games Pass and access to just XCloud? And that's it. Here it is, $10 a month, $15 a month, and you have access to everything.
But
and
yeah,
that's it.
that's what already they're doing. I'm paying $15 a month for Xbox Live and Xbox Game Pass for the console and Xbox Games Pass.
But that
for
involves a
the
console.
PC. No,
That
and
involves
for
a
the
console.
PC.
Yeah, but you're talking about a console. Like, I'm talking about we get to a point where I don't need that console.
Oh yeah.
And that's what this has me like excited about. It's that
Okay, so I get it. So like a standalone just for gotcha.
yeah, like you know what? You don't want to buy the Xbox, that's fine. Here's the membership to Games Pass, and you can play everything on Games Pass on any device that can handle this
Yeah.
like
Now
xCloud.
The only thing that I have noticed, and the only reason why I noticed it and I know of it, is because I have the Games Pass for both the console and the PC. They are probably going to do the same thing to where if they do decide to do something similar to it, they're going to limit the games that are probably going to be on there, because just for the PC alone, there's only certain games that you can download. The library for the PC version of Games Pass is not as game heavy as the one for the console.
But that's also because like it's the beginning stages. But let's face it, if Microsoft is able to open up their market for somebody to just be like, I will pay $10 a month, no console, and I have access to all of these games, you bet your ass that they're gonna do it.
Then we're gonna have a Xbox handheld.
You know what?
Streaming services. I mean, at this point.
You know what? You jumped ahead, but let's go ahead and jump to that part. We're going to use that as a segue. So, I know how much you've been taunting this Xbox Switch. However, I would like to report that Sony Switch may actually be happening closer than Xbox Switch.
Really? I didn't even see that one in our document.
You didn't even see it. That's what I'm saying. You walked into it so perfectly. So we've talked about how so far Sony only has the remote play where you can play remotely through other devices. They have put out a survey about seeing whether you'd be interested in having access to this through your Nintendo Switch. So your Sony Switch may happen. Your PlayStation Switch may happen way closer than your Xbox Switch.
I mean,
I put it on there. I had to. Like, with everything we've talked about, this potential, like...
it was bound to happen. If you're able to get achievements and whatnot to be able to play some of the Xbox games that, they spoke about into the Switch,
There's no reason why you can't do trophies.
Exactly.
Yeah, I agree. And at the same time, even if you don't do trophies, like, this is still just the remote play. So this isn't even, like, xCloud. Here's where it would get interesting, or where I think it could get interesting. I would love to see it where, sure, we get remote play on the Nintendo Switch, but XCloud is now available through the Switch as well. So like all you need is Games Pass. Like that would be cool. All right, so there's a cut in there. We don't know how to figure it out. It'll be interesting. So yeah, I think it'd be interesting and it'd be cool to kind of look into that and have that option.
Yep.
But yeah, Sony could be coming sooner than later. I'm just telling you.
I mean, I'm still perfectly fine with it.
With what? With the Xbox?
Yeah. I mean, okay. Coming from a person, I love all consoles. I love all games. Well, not all games because I'm more. Yeah, I'm not gonna get on that one. I prefer other games than others, but that's just everybody. Coming from a person that has access to currently all the this generation's consoles, I have PS Now and PS Now to me doesn't tickle me.
But like you know what? Like
the Games Pass does.
It doesn't because they don't have as many good games. They have some good games, but not as many good games. I like it because there's a different variety of games. There's games I haven't tried, but we go back to the fact that you still need to have your PlayStation running.
Exactly.
Like I can't or at least and again, this may be something that I haven't personally looked into to get it. I don't think I can log into my phone into PlayStation Now and just play whatever game I wanted because that would at that point that'd be more interesting. That would be cool, and I wish you could have that. But no, you have to be logged in through your PlayStation 4, and then you have to remote play into your PlayStation phone, and that's how you're able.
And I
to play
believe you have to be also within the same network to be able to do that. No,
you can be on a different network. I've done it from Miami.
Okay.
Yeah, I've actually played games from. It was Metal Gear 4, Metal Gear Solid 4. I've actually played from Miami.
Okay, so in other words, you just really need to have your phone in rest mode, and then have your remote play activate your Xbox or PlayStation.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
But it's still dependent on your internet connectivity for your PlayStation. Rather than only focusing on the internet connectivity for my phone and then streaming at that, I have to worry about an entirely different device. So that's the part that I don't like. It's not as, you know what I mean?
But I think at that point you would be having more issues of input lag versus the extra streaming services.
I don't know, man, because again, XCloud, we just tested it, Ricky. Your Xbox was off.
Exactly, but we're talking about now two.
Oh, using
things.
That's the thing.
Yeah, no, you having remote play for PlayStation away from your home and everything, you're more susceptible to having more of an input lag
and all those issues
than you would than the now streaming service of XCloud, where you've played it away. I've played it. My Xbox has been 100% off.
Yep.
And it plays flawlessly.
It was great, man. Honestly, I can't wait. So, at the same time, very much hoping that the Switch gets... Honestly, I'm hoping the Switch gets both, dude. At this point, I don't even care. I want to be able to play both Xbox and PlayStation games on my Switch. That'd be awesome. And I mean, the Switch has already... We believe it. They broke the record. According to Forbes, they might have outsold Xbox at this point with how many console units they've sold, selling at 52.48 million units per Forbes. So that's a lot of Switches, man.
Yep. No, that was pretty funny. But Xbox has also stopped reporting out on their sales too. So that's only
because it's
estimate.
embarrassing.
Yeah, because just with the trend of knowing that the systems have been slowing down with purchasing and sales just because the new generation is around the corner. That's... I can kind of see that happening.
We kind of touched on it before we put it on the show. We ended up not putting it on the show because we didn't get to look into it. But I mean, MPD numbers have shown that there's been a decline in sales for both software and hardware. I believe the numbers where it dropped 25% for
25%
software and 35% for hardware year over year based on sales from last year. But again, this is a brand new console year. We know new consoles are coming. Not many people are going to buy the PlayStation 4 or the Xbox One X unless they go on sale, and those are the people that,
And another news that I didn't add in here since we're talking about numbers was not only the Nintendo Switch outsold the Xbox, it also finally broke record for most consoles sold within also Nintendo. It actually surpassed the Super Nintendo.
Oh, Jesus Christ, dude.
It actually also surpassed the Super Nintendo. So Super Nintendo is no longer the number one console ever sold for them.
That's pretty.
That's a big milestone for Nintendo, especially. And this is the funny part because Nintendo has always been the, oh yeah, Nintendo, they're the family console, right? Yeah, oh yeah.
They always get looked down upon that because of the way, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a shame.
Whereas now it's like, wow, Switches are almost everywhere I've gone.
Dude.
People are just playing their Switch,
And that's what I'm saying. It'd be nice if these like XCloud and whatever PlayStation's gonna inevitably work on were available on the Switch as just like a separate ordeal.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think we are getting to that point where that is a potential for happening. That actually could happen, and that we could potentially see something like that in the next couple of years. I did want to put a shout out to what we talked about for the NVIDIA. We need to bring that up at some point.
The NVIDIA portion, just like Phil Spencer said, Google and what is it, Amazon are their biggest player. Well,
NVIDIA isn't.
Unfortunately, NVIDIA isn't one of them. For those that may have noticed or didn't notice, I don't blame
we don't blame you. It took a week.
Really do not blame you. But it only took less than a week for this to happen.
Let's read the notes the way I put in the first one. So NVIDIA GeForce Now is finally out of beta. That was February the 4th.
Basically, NVIDIA GeForce Now, what it was, is a streaming-based service to where you can use your NVIDIA card, your GeForce NVIDIA card, which I actually have one, so I would have been able to, take, at least test this feature out, but by the time I actually found out about it, it was kind of late, and I'll tell you why here in a second. But you're technically able to stream your personal library of games. Doesn't matter if it's on your Epic account, doesn't matter if it's on your Steam account, on your Battle.net account, anything you play, anything that you have access to on your PC, you were able to play, the NVIDIA GeForce Now
on any device. Okay.
Laptop, tablets, your phone, anything. Well, we said February 4th was when the beta opened up.
The next one was February 11th.
Yes. Unfortunately, the only partner that they kind of had for this was Activision Blizzard kind of games. And as of February 11th, they kind of backed out from the service. So, sad to say that
so the service is dead,
NVIDIA GeForce no longer has any clients playing ball with it, and a really cool concept and service just kind of went down the drain in less than a week.
See, this is the part that I fear with the streaming servers is that there will be too much. Like inevitably, there needs to be some partnership, and that's kind of why I hope that it just boils down to a Nintendo service, an Xbox service, and a PlayStation service, and Stadia, I'm sure, will be in there somewhere. I don't know doing what, but
but I can truly see, legal letters, legal contracts being better formatted for situations like this. Unfortunately, as of this time, there is no updates from, Activision or Blizzard.
Other than we're screwed, help us.
There's nothing from them reporting why they backed down. There's also nothing from NVIDIA stating if there was any issues. Was there something that was not promised?
Something to do with like Activision wanting to do their own service.
There's a very high possibility.
Ubisoft already came out with their Uplay Plus, which is something that again we're looking at more subscription type models where Ubisoft is coming out with, they're testing their own thing. Whether it's going to stay their own thing or be partnered up with somebody else, that's going to be seen. But they have their own thing where you subscribe monthly, you get access to all their games, blah blah blah. It's across Xbox, PlayStation, and I think they were rumors that they were going to look for Switch as well.
Yeah,
for whatever games you can.
Switch. Yeah, but for the most part, it's through the major consoles. Even though Nintendo is a major console, that it's not part of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, cool service kind of went down the drain. I mean, everybody would have won, but what can you do with that?
There was more money to be made, man. More money to be made.
I mean,
there's always more money to be made, Ricky.
And they can throw it in your face.
They can throw it in your face, just like this next article. That was a great segue. Where the PlayStation 5. So there's a new patent that has been come out for the PlayStation 5. You're a little more familiar on this one. So by all means, Ricky, go ahead and explain this one.
Okay. So, just like me, I love playing video games. Sometimes there's games that I don't spend enough time on games to be able to get better at a game or to be able to farm to get, upgraded items or whatever to be able to pass certain levels. Just like almost anybody, there are guides and everything online where you can just search and Google, hey, how can I beat this part? Well, PlayStation has come out with a patent to where you can actually ask your PlayStation 5, how can I beat this part? Simple as that. The AI portion of it is basically going to be like your Amazon Echo, your Google, whatever version it is, just because I don't know the top of my head.
Yeah.
It's going to be an assistant.
Google Home, I believe.
Is it? Okay, so it's going to be an AI assistant similar to those, but integrated directly into your PlayStation. So if you ask, how can I beat this level, the service is supposed to go, look at your library,
guides, pick up community feedback.
Exactly. Look at your current stats within the game, your current save files, all of this data that's happening in the back end to basically come back to tell you, okay, you either need to go to this section, get this weapon, you need to upgrade this stat, this is what you need to do, or
that
potentially...
sounds awesome.
Exactly.
Before we get to the next part that you're about to drop, because that shoe's about to drop. That part sounds great. I'm stuck in a game. Show me what I need. Oh, you're missing this axe or you're missing this key. It's found over there. All right, that sounds cool. Then the shoe drops.
Well, there's a possibility that you just might have to wait for the next DLC. And that is the part where it kind of gets muddy. But at the same time, do remember this is a patent. It doesn't mean that.
Well, at the same time, I don't think that this patent. I don't think this patent is made to lock content. I think that this pattern is gonna be something that sure will help the player, but that's where it also it's gonna peddle whatever DLC they can peddle at you, and it's just more advertising.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot more advertisement for microtransactions, possibly, DLC, purchase of contents, possibly. But do remember, this is only a patent, so we don't need anybody freaking out. It doesn't mean that the world's on fire! It doesn't mean it will be in the console, but just knowing that we are currently in an era where we do use, our AI assistant services a lot, during this generation. But there's also another thing. You don't have to use it. You can turn that feature off on the PlayStation if you really
just like the touchpad is probably going away. Exactly. This feature could go away too, folks.
Yeah, you can just turn it off and not
vote
even
with
use
your wallet.
So.
Don't bother with it. It's
well, this would be an integrated service. It's not one of those.
I'm sure you're going to be able to shut it off, dude.
No, yeah, there should be.
And in
a feature to.
And in that aspect, you can vote with your wallet. Yeah. If you're not using the feature, they're not going to bother to develop it further. So, there's always ways around situations like this.
But yeah, so that's basically what we got for that one. I wonder if you can just ask it, hey, how much will the PlayStation 5 cost? You think it'll tell us?
I think you're trying your seg, but it's a little too hard right now. But yeah, it's not going to tell you. Because PlayStation has no freaking clue what the PlayStation's going to cost. So right now, we talked about it on the last episode that there was supposed to be an event on the day the episode went live, and we wrestled with letting that episode go live without holding back and waiting to see if something would happen. Mm-hmm. I'm glad we didn't wait because nothing happened.
No, nothing.
There was no event. They haven't discussed anything. They haven't confirmed anything. As a matter of fact, recently they were asked about the price. They were told that they could not confirm it at this point, that they're going to try I forgot what the wording was. They're going to look at it so that it's beneficial for everybody. Um, but basically, so far, reports have pointed out that just manufacturing the console costs $400 to $450 alone. So that means one of two things. If PlayStation wants to make a small margin on these, they're gonna be $500 minimum. I think that's a pretty safe bet to place if this is how much it's costing them, because the other alternative would be to sell them at a loss. Now, it wouldn't be the first time that console manufacturers sell their boxes at a loss. As a matter of fact, the Xbox 360 was sold at a loss, and I believe that PlayStation 3, even with its ridiculous price tag, was still sold at a loss. So it wouldn't be necessarily something that is unseen, but I really don't think this box is going to be any less than $450, $500.
Not if they want to stay competitive.
Like, I think that $500 is literally like the most that you could ask and people still be okay with it. I mean, just last episode, we talked a little bit about the tariffs and how the price would be impacted if that were to happen. And I mean, again, we go back to, like, for me, for example, PlayStations, I'm going to buy at least two because we're a two PlayStation household. That in and of itself, we're looking at nearly $1,000, if not over $1,000, depending on how much they cost. That's a chunk of change, man.
I'll give you the love, man.
What?
Two consoles. I mean, I can't talk.
But let's face it, you're gonna buy the Xbox. You're gonna buy the PlayStation 5 as well. So that you're buying two consoles in and of itself.
For the most part.
And so it's gonna happen. We're gonna spend this money. But, like, it's just interesting that they haven't said anything yet. Like, it's coming out this year.
I don't know what is it that they're waiting for. Are they gonna?
It is an E3.
Yeah, because they're not going to be an E3, but they're going to have their own. Or is that what they're waiting for?
I don't know, but, like, at this point, it's one of those, like, what type of event are you going to have and when? If you have it at E3, it may be too late. Like, are you waiting for Xbox to drop their price? Is that what you're actually doing? You're waiting to see how much is Xbox going to charge for your box so we can come out and try to be competitive and try to undercut you? Or what exactly is your goal? And that's the piece I'm trying to figure out.
They're waiting for Xbox to say their numbers.
Xbox is never going to say their numbers for last console. Like, that's... At this point...
Not for last console, for the next generation of pricing point.
We now know what the Xbox is going to look like. We know that it's a tower. We know what the remote's going to look like. We know jack about the PlayStation 5 other than the name and the logo. And a few speculations about the controller where... well, not even speculations because it's been confirmed. A lot of
patents, yeah.
Yeah, but, like, that's why I said speculations, because they're patents. But we know that it is going to have a USB-C. We know that for a fact. We know that they're doing away with the light bar, like things of that nature. But we still haven't seen it. And that's what bugs me as a consumer, is that we have not seen this thing yet.
I wonder if they're just scared.
Probably.
They're just scared.
Dude, they're scared that the price is not going to sit well with people. Because you got to think about it. Like, everything that they're trying to do, it's expensive.
I mean, like, this just reminds me of that time when the the PS Slim, was it the PS4 Slim? Yeah, PS4 Slim was leaked images. You know, a YouTuber did... unboxed it on YouTube. PlayStation was like, I don't know what you're talking about. Now that we don't know nothing about no PlayStation Slim. What are you talking about? Months and months later, at one of their big conferences, oh, hey, we're coming out with a PS Slim. We didn't know anything about it until now. We promise. Dude, it got leaked and got sent to a freaking YouTuber. So please, PlayStation.
Please, PlayStation, if you need to leak it again, send it to us.
Yeah. It's okay for you to announce your stuff. You don't have to be so secretive about it.
I'm telling you, I think it's to keep the edge. I think it's because I have a feeling that PlayStation right now is looking to sell their box at $500. That's what I feel. They're like, okay, PlayStation 5, $500. But if Xbox comes out and says Xbox Series X for $500, I bet you PlayStation 5 $450.
Yep. And
I can almost
honestly, that's
you.
why I think that probably PlayStation is waiting, just like I said. And, they're probably waiting for Xbox to announce their pricing concept and model and whatnot to be able to see how truly competitive can they be and what kind of an edge can they put over the Xbox.
What would be pretty sweet is Xbox comes out, they give their price for the X. PlayStation comes out, they give their price for the 5. And then Xbox comes out and gives their price for the Scarlet, which is the cheaper version, and it happens to undercut PS5.
That's messed up.
That's messed up, but you know what? I can see that happening.
Yeah.
I can totally see that happening the way that like, the way that they keep going back and forth in this, like, it would not surprise me if that's what they're planning, dude.
Maybe. We'll see. We'll just have to wait and see.
We'll see
what happens.
I mean, it's again, we go back to, like, the price right now is dependent on the, what is it, the DRAM and the ANND flash memory, which is what they're having issues with because they're also being used a lot in cell phone manufacturing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a problem. There's not enough of them. There's the whole trade war with China. There's a lot going on that plays into this. And I think that that's where my my whole, like, expectation and my anxiety to what is this going to end up being like comes into play.
Mm-hmm.
See what I mean?
Yeah, we'll see what happens when we get there. But regardless, people are still going to buy the PlayStation. Doesn't matter at what price range. I mean, I'm pretty sure they can even price it at $600. Doesn't mean that people are going to be happy about it. But there are people that are very, console, active, whatever, fans.
Yeah.
That will cough up $600 for their console. Same thing for Xbox. Yes, it doesn't matter how much people complained and everything. For this past generation, yes, the Xbox at one point, if we remember, it was $100 over the PlayStation only because of a Kinect. Guess what? People still went out there and bought, this $100 extra console.
Yeah,
so,
but it hurt them a lot.
It hurt them a lot, but it still didn't stop. Okay, fair. They didn't.
It didn't stop, but it severely delayed that train.
But they still sold consoles. And honestly, one thing that I probably will say helped them was because of the games that came out at that time.
I will say I missed the Kinect. I'm one of the few people who wanted more Kinect. However, I disagree with them forcing you to get the Kinect.
Yes.
It should have always been a separate peripheral that you get if you wanted for specialty games and things of that nature. But all right, well, that does it for this week's episode of Chairside Gaming. Thank you very much for joining us, guys. Before we leave, Ricky, anything you want to put out there? Anything you want to recommend? Everything you want to say?
I mean, if you're able to register for the Xbox Cloud Project, do it. I 100% recommend it. It's amazing.
Yeah, definitely. We're going to keep testing it.
Yeah.
So look forward to us talking more about it.
One thing about it, it did say we'll reach out to you in a couple months. Honestly, it didn't take a couple months for them to reach out to me.
Yeah, no.
So,
and it's great too. Like, the app lets you provide feedback on the app. So
oh yes.
Yeah, no, it's pretty cool. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it now. I have this new excitement for streaming. Like, dude, the potential to play all these games without having to buy an Xbox is very appealing to me right now.
Yeah,
it really is.
It really
Give me access to Xbox Games Pass. That's all I care about. Play it wherever. Connect it on your phone. I don't care. Yeah, I'm good. I'm in.
Let's do it.
Put it on my Switch and then make Ricky. This is the only way I'll let Ricky be happy. Like,
hey,
do it that way.
If you put it on the Switch, come on. Xbox Games Pass.
Or dude, if you put it on the Switch, it would be interesting.
It really would. But
it definitely would.
With that said, just remember, like Chris mentioned, we're on Facebook. You can go to facebook.com/groups/Chairside Gaming.
to join us on our Facebook group.
Oh yes, where it has been very active. So thank you to everybody.
Yep, thank you everybody on the Facebook group who stuck around us with the name change.
Yep.
We have yet to hear any negative impact for us changing the name. So thank you guys for all the support and always looking out for us and always being there for us and participating in the Facebook group and posting stuff. We are revamping the show. We're working on trying to make this better. So any suggestions, any thoughts you guys have as to what we can improve, by all means, let us know. Again, the show goes live every 2 weeks where we cover the latest news and how they impact the gaming industry and what we think about them. So come check us out. If you haven't done so already, please make sure, go ahead, rate, subscribe, like us. Give us those stars over on the podcast services, over on YouTube, because it really does help us. And that's how we need your help in 2020 to grow this show. We have grown as much as we have because of you guys. We want to keep growing. So we need to rely, again, on all of you to provide that and get us out there, guys. That's what we're looking forward to.
Yep.
We're looking forward to meeting more people and talking more about video games. All right, everybody. We'll see you in about 2 weeks. Thank you for joining us. Bye.